Hey, I'm Greg Claycone, the owner of Edge Body Boot Camp, bringing it to you live from my living room tonight. Me and Shakoba gonna do a little stretch tutorial, probably get some playing in. Shout out to Sasha for the good idea to make a stretch video. I'm gonna take you all through a little routine. It's gonna be total body. I'm gonna put a majority of this on the legs. Start at the hip, and we're gonna work down through the ankles and the feet. And then we'll do a minor touch-up stretch for the upper body. I did just do a little bit of a warm-up weight routine for about 15 minutes and then sat in a sauna for a half hour, so I'm good and loose, ready to stretch out. I've been drinking my water. I went through a whole bottle of this, and then I just drank about 10 ounces as soon as I got home. So this is how we started off. Feel free to stretch along to this video. Probably take about 15 minutes or so. Or if you want to just fast forward, skip through 15 seconds at a time, touch base on all of them. I'll try to give a little explanation to the muscle we're stretching with a little text at the bottom along the way when I edit this back. So have fun. Hopefully you use this. First thing we're going to do, get the hips. I do this a couple different ways. We're going to start with a minor hip stretch. 1 foot back. We're going to take 1 foot way out in front of us. Lean in, pushing all that weight towards the front leg, and you'll feel that stretch on your back leg's hip. We'll hold each one for about 20, maybe 30 seconds. You can fast forward this part, or like I said, just do it along with me and do your own thing. You can put the video on silent if you want. Twist this around. Get a couple different angles on it. Switch. I'm watching a NBA game. Lakers at the Nets. It's actually a decent little game right now. 39-34 Brooklyn. So the hips. Hips is where a lot of tension starts, guys. If you got sore lower back, sore knees, foot problems, your hips might be tight. And that can be pulling upward on all of your other muscles throughout the legs, creating tension at all the joints below the hip. I stretch out my hips every day. It's a must. All right, I'm gonna get a couple little quad stretches where I start back with 1 foot elevated. I'll start on this side. And we're just gonna go butt to heel first, pushing everything back in towards the couch. Now I am recovering from a minor ankle injury. I'd say my recovery is probably a little more than 50% through, so I have range of motion throughout my ankle. I can roll it around, flex it, do all that good stuff, but can't quite jump explosively or put a whole lot of pressure on it yet. So some of these stretches I don't really dig into much. I'm going to do that hip stretch just for a few more seconds with the foot elevated, and I get a real good pull through the quads. From that, you hear my knee popping. Switch sides, elevated, butt to heel, pushing in towards the couch. This also works really good on just a regular flat bench at the gym. At least if you're my height, it does. I don't know how long it is from your ankle to your knee, but that's where I typically do this in the beginning of one of my workouts after I've warmed up, through my first few sets when I'm working out, doing my strength training or hypertrophy-based training. Oh man, this side's a little tighter. This is weird. I'm in my living room talking to my phone, but you're watching. Don't know who you are yet, but you're watching. I get the hamstrings. That's why I love my couch. We're going to conveniently place that. So, the hamstrings, you can do these 2 different ways. If your toes are pointed away from you, it's going to loosen. It's not going to have any tension on the calf, so it's not going to have any tension on the hamstring from the calf. A little bit easier, but I like to pull my toes back towards me, Get a little bit of stretch from the bottom of the foot. That'll bleed into the calf, and then that'll help put an extra stretch on the hamstring. You'll see me re-gripping at my foot a few times. I'm grabbing 2 or 3 toes at a time and just moving around. Hitting this from a few different angles. And I'll even rotate in. I'm not very flexible. I do good to hold my foot here for a little while. I'm just now getting to this point in this past year. But I back up to the couch because it kind of gives me a little bit of an assist there. Arm to push me in this side. Get my right leg a little tighter, I'm guessing, because my left ankle has that injury right now. I've been favoring the right side. So those muscles are definitely just responding appropriately. They're a little exhausted. Alright. Everything okay? Go middle. This is where my inflexibility really shows. About 6 inches from my toes still. With this one, what I focus on, again, if you can bring your posture up, keep your spine nice and straight, that does make your back muscles a little tighter, and that'll in turn pull on the hamstrings from the top end of them. So you get a nice stretch from a different angle. The tension when I pulled on my toes was coming from the bottom end of the hamstring. So just another way to stretch that hamstring all the way through. Butterfly stretch for the groin. Oh, LeBron. Making things look too easy. The butterfly stretch, I do it a couple different ways. One way, grab the toes and pull yourself in, forehead towards the feet. It is, I guess, controversial, but I let the back round out a little bit safely. Now that we're loosened up, warmed up, and stretching, rounding out, that lower back allows your erectors and multifidus. Shout out to Maddie for teaching me about multifidus muscles. Get those stretched out. I'll turn, rotate that core down in the cervical vertebrae, that lower back. Trying to keep the spine straight. So I get that rotation. Alright, second way I do these butterflies, grab the ankle, put your elbows on the knees, and then push the knees towards the ground. That's what opens up that inner thigh, groin, hip area. Alright. Next up, going pigeon pose. Alright, here's how you set this one up. Start palm plank. You bring one leg in, turn it to the side, have your toes facing away from your body, then slide back as you lay down into this. So your knee should be out on the outside of you on one side, your foot on the outside of your hips on the other side. Lay down nice and straight. Try to keep your back flat again. If you keep your back flat, that keeps a little bit of tension in the lower back glutes. Oh my goodness. Come here, baby. She's full of it tonight. So, now that I've gotten that loosened up a little bit, I'm going to turn myself into the front knee. So I'm squaring my body up with it. I'm going to slowly lean in with a straight spine. And then I'm going to again rotate the lower part of your spine towards that leg. It's rotating, kind of wringing it out like a rag. And then keep that spine straight. Try to relax as you lay into that every time you exhale.
looked like he tried to go for the block, and that's the disadvantage for a shot blocker. If he would have just gone verticality there, then he wouldn't have got the foul call. But you go for the shot block attempt, and which you got Brown early on in that game.
All right, after I've laid into it, I'll come up and now I'll really twist that spine. Usually get a little bit of a pop or two. Kind of got to feel it out. Sometimes twisting will allow your glute to get a little more of a stretch, that lower back. This one is really good for the IT band as well. Straighten out and then come up out of that stretch. So your IT band goes right here from the outer thigh up to the hip on the outside. It's that outer muscle right there. And when that's tight, man, that's whenever the knee pain begins. So this stretch is usually one of my first recommendations after a warm-up. Just get some blood flow, hit this one. Wet knee pain, that's all I'm saying.
Foul against Brooklyn. Los Angeles Lakers fast break run, second in the NBA.
All right, come up. And over top of that knee. Slowly lower down in, keeping that spine straight. Rotate. And lay into it.
I've got a long list. Here we go. My daughter, she's getting into gaming.
Nintendo Switch. You can play at home or anywhere.
My brother?
DJI Magic Drone. Guys love drones.
Wow. How the holidays
Up halfway. Rotate that spine. The cervical area, the lower spine. Shout out to Karen. We've been talking about areas of the spine. One of my personal training clients. All right, ease up out of that one. That stretch is also good for the front of your leg, the opposing muscles to your calf, your peroneal for the front of your leg, the opposing muscles to your calf, your peroneal muscles. They are really good for absorbing impact. So when you get shin splints, it's usually from running without warming up or stretching these muscles. You're absorbing a ton of impact while that muscle's still too tight. That stretch is really good to get rid of them, as well as this one. Sit down with the toes facing back away from your body. Once you got that down, you can lean back, plant those hands flat, and pull the chest up. Position 2. Just relax. Now this is where my ankle is being tested a little bit, so I can't push too hard on this position 3, but push the hips. We'll keep the neck in a neutral position, not laid back like this, but not having your chin tucked like I was. Keep that spine straight. Drive the hips towards the ceiling. And then again, that IT band, the hips and quads, getting a good stretch. Long, pull the knees out, hit that same position from just a little bit different of an angle. Again, getting those peroneal muscles in the shin, a nice little stretch as well. All right, we're gonna go back to the glutes for a second. Glutes and IT band with a 90-90. Learned this one from Austin Pegram, one of the trainers at Edgebody, who is a physical therapist and is, from what I understand, starting his own company as well. Congratulations. So it's 90-90, both knees are at a 90-degree angle. And this is just another way to hit the IT band and the glutes. Similar to the pigeon pose, but just, again, from a little different of an angle. I usually hold for just a few seconds, come up, and then rotate about 10 degrees. Lay into it. It's also good for the QL, the lower back, and glute crossover region. And sometimes I'll take his front leg, straighten it out a little bit. That really throws that IT band in there a little bit more. The hamstring. Lean in. Right, flip over to the other side.
You know what was coming off. Yeah, he's a child. He needs to be a little more mature, take things more seriously.
Dinwiddie, stutter step, outside. Hollis Jefferson, the jumper is off. And it's rebounded by Chandler. The Nets have gone ice cold. They led by as many as 7. Kuzma is fouled. Talented second-year player, Kyle Kuzma, will head to the free throw line as Cooper's
All right.
gets charged with the
Let's
first.
see, we've hit hips, quads, IT, glutes, hamstrings. We need to get these. Got the shins. We need to get the calves. That's it. All right. Calf stretch. Come here, Sheesh. Help me with the calves. Yeah. What's that,
That was
baby?
a good move by Kuzma. We like to call it the spinning.
All right, turn around. Show them your better side. All right. Starting upon plank, we are going to just let one leg off the ground. Shift your body using your arms. Push all your weight back in your leg. Hips go up in the air, keeping the legs straight at the knee. And then heel towards the ground. You can manipulate this a little bit, kind of shift from side to side, shifting the weight from your big toe only, and then kind of rotate around to all the toes being stretched, and then to the outside for that pinky toe. And then just get your Achilles and calf muscles stretching from multiple angles as well. Oh, I need that.
Lakers 50, Nets 46. Nets have missed their last 6 shots.
This is the ankle that's still healing, so I'm not going to put quite as much pressure on it.
Get the crank. Carroll, left hand, no. Left out of bounds off of Kuzma.
Once again,
We're almost through the legs here.
Jefferson helped him a little bit there, but it was only on all the traffic. Got in the way of LeBron James.
And then the last part is the feet. Take the toes, lock them into the ground, knee to the ground. You can kind of just lay back. This is pulling the bottom, pulling your toes back pulls the bottom of those muscles, or the bottom of your foot muscles. Stretches those. That's the plantar area. If you have feet issues, doing this first thing in the morning before you even walk. Just take your toes, lock them in, just put that pressure back, stretching all of this. And going side to side, kind of getting all of them involved there. If you have plantar fasciitis and this part of your foot hurts, where your arch meets in underneath your heel, this is the money right here. Taking those toes, like I said, in the morning, pulling them back and stretching your foot down, manipulating in several different ways. Rotating that ankle around. It's all good stuff. All right, last thing, this is a combination, a little bit of leg, a little bit of lower back. Let's see, how can I do this? All right, lay yourself out, one straight line, your arm up behind your head. Take his top leg, tuck the toe behind the knee, then the knee goes to the ground. Arm that's underneath your head comes around, holds that leg to the ground. You rotate out, chest to the ceiling, twist in again, that lower spine. Trying to relax through this. On the exhale, push your knee into the ground. This one feels a little bit too good right now. I might take a nap. Might be bedtime.
Wagner was going to check in.
I just had to drink a protein shake.
On the throw.
I gotta eat dinner still.
Ted Davis back into the game for Brooklyn. Kenny Atkinson was unhappy with the call. He thought that was a clean screen for Jared Allen. Villa. Kuzma gets around Davis. But he missed it.
All right. So that wraps up the legs.
Dinwiddie using the Davis.
That is just the seated routine. There are, of course, plenty more stretches than that. And, you know, I might throw in some other types occasionally, but those are the main ones. Ran through every part of the leg, from the hips down through the foot muscles. So that'll get you going, make you feel brand new. I feel a lot better now. We're gonna do a few upper body stretches. I've been hitting the upper body hard while my ankle's been injured, trying to just put on some muscle again. So here's a general rundown for those. I'm real big fan of stretching the back of the shoulders and the rotator cuff. Just lay your arm out 90 degrees right here at the shoulder, palm up, then rotate your body over top of that arm. Pin this elbow right here to the ground, and you can kind of rotate through even farther to put a good stretch on the back of your shoulder. And just relax. Hold that for about 15 seconds. If you got shoulder issues, especially whenever you try to reach behind you, or if you got neck issues, this is a good stretch. It does pull around a little bit on the traps and the rhomboids as well between the shoulder blades. If you got that grind behind the shoulder blade, it makes you want to just do this all the time, right in there. That does pull that around, gets those back muscles stretching. Hit this other side. Oh man. And again, you gotta kind of play around with it. There is no perfect position. Some days this might be it. Some days I might rotate my body a little bit differently because a different area is a little bit more sore. So there's not just one way to do these. You know, I could rotate palm up, I could go palm down. It might feel better depending on the exercise that I've done the day or two beforehand. Okay, next one, very similar stretch, but just going the opposite way. Inverted, face down, palm down. I'm gonna use this other arm to rotate myself around. That's stretching out the chest muscles, your pecs, that front delt and bicep and forearm, also getting a good little stretch there as I'm gripping the ground. Throwing this leg back allows your core and your hips to stretch just a little bit. And I use this other arm just to kind of hold that, let the body relax. You can change the angle slightly of the arm, move it up about 10 degrees, just to hit it from a little bit different of an angle for a few seconds. Switch sides. I need a drink.
Great job.
Been a minute.
Just kind of staying under control. Dragon bobbled it early, but it might have worked out better for him because he probably would have gotten blocked had he caught it clean and then straight up with it.
Stay tuned.
Oh, hi.
Halftime shows coming up. First year, Jim Spartan back in our Yes Network studios. Action around the NBA. We're Brooklyn at for you.
Yeah, the shoulder got it yesterday. Oh my goodness. Oh, it hurts so much.
When you retire, you're a civilian.
Well, yeah,
Come here, baby.
military service. It's more
Come here.
basketball service. My basketball service is now retired. So I'm a retiree. Well, I started going to like matinee movies. 3 p.m. I get the early bird special.
All right, for the upper body too. Like to get the forearms loose, push those palms down, and pull the hand back 90 degrees. Maybe go one finger at a time. If you got real bad forearm issues, or if you're having issues with your hands at all, go. Hey. For a few seconds on each one. I'm just gonna do the other hand the same way. Start with the wrist down. Hey, come here. It's my co-star. Forearms are a little bit tight from all the dumbbell work. Right. Triceps One arm behind the head, pull it over, back. Sit up nice and straight. Manipulate that arm back there. Hear my elbow pop. That's a release of tension. That's a good thing. After a stretch, if your joint pops a little bit, it means that joint sink in to the socket that's available for it a little further. Probably went into place. Last one for the abs. Alright, start here in this push-up position. Hello. Keep your thighs on the ground. Be easy on the body as you push into the ground. Keep that neck neutral. You can rotate one hip towards the ground a little bit farther. This is stretching the oblique. On the other side, it's getting right there. What? And I'm feeling good now. So, kind of a long routine. Took about 25 minutes to get through, but I mean, I was watching some basketball and hanging out with my cat. So, you know, life is what you make it. Make use of your time, treat your body right. You will feel a lot better. You can be in a better mood, have better productivity with your family and at work. It just kind of increases the quality of your life. So throwing these stretches in once or twice a week while you're just having some downtime goes a long way. Hope you found this information useful. If you want to come try something out at Edgebody, I always offer the 3 free workouts. And once a month, I always put out a small offer to do a short trial. It'll be something cheap for a couple weeks or so. So hit me up. I'm Greg Claycomb, owner of Edgebody Boot Camp in Louisville. Let me know what I can do for you.